have a guest in the waiting room. Welcome to The Road, the Stage. I'm Patrick Bateman. This is Peter Michaels. We are live in Communal Creative Studios in Red Deer, Alberta.
Red Deer, beautiful Red Deer. It's a gorgeous afternoon.
Yeah, we've had a killer few weeks, have we not?
Amazing. Yes, we have.
And we're just allowing into the room our guest for today, Zoe Sky Jordan.
Hi.
Joining us from,
God.
oh boy, goodness.
Zoe Sky Jordan.
Hi, I'm using my husband's computer.
Yep.
And there's like a blurred background on, and that's why a photo of him came up
good.
and his name.
We're quite used to interviewing musicians who don't actually have their own like Zoom accounts. Not that you don't, but you know what I'm trying to say. Okay.
No, it's not that I even need a Zoom account. It's that I dumped like a full bottle of water onto my computer and my backup hard drive about a week ago, and I just haven't really faced the next step.
Did you do anything?
Not for a few days.
Okay.
Then I did take it to Apple, but it was a refurb. Hold on. Before I even get started here, is this on? Like, do you...
Working perfect.
Oh, yeah, I think so, although I didn't hear any taps.
Like, I kind of feel like this is a prop, and it's not actually...
I think you might actually be running the computer audio instead of the... or computer mic instead of that mic right there. That's very possible.
Here's the deal. It sounds great, so you don't need to fix it. And it looks awesome, too, so no, put it back. That's a great prop.
But does that change anything?
Nope, it's totally the same.
Yeah, it's this is a prop.
We're good, though. Our producer's good with audio? Yes, that's a yes.
I guess it's probably not the same with hard drives and like I remember getting my phone wet and you put it in a bag of rice for a few days and then it's good to go. It's not the same with laptops and machines.
I feel like I haven't seen the bag of rice trick mentioned in many years. Maybe we're all just used to going in and getting replacements right away.
I think that it is. It does work, but like, who has that much rice? Like for a whole computer?
Right.
That was sort of my issue. I was like, I have rice, but like a computer, like I don't even have a bag that big. Was I gonna fill up a tote bag full of rice? I did consider making like a grain combo, maybe putting like some oats in it or something, but it just felt like a waste. I was like,
I feel like oats would be really risky with that moisture too.
That would really, because you might up the moisture.
Yeah, but you might also develop a bit of a slurry.
Right. Okay.
That might leak through components.
You're right.
Yeah. So how are you today?
I'm good. Is that your little puppy down there?
Oh, is my dog showing through? Yes, this is Buster.
Hey, Buster. Buster's not feeling well today, so he came to the studio.
He's got a bit of a sore, and he likes to lick, and he doesn't cone very well. He's a big dude. I don't know if you can see how he's a very large dog. So the cone is very large as well.
Okay. I only just saw the forehead, but I could kind of tell.
Do you have a dog? Are you in LA right now?
I do. I'm in LA. Can I just have a minute because I couldn't get on before.
Dear God, take as much time as you need.
Hi.
There he is. There's the big fella.
My God, he's big.
Oh,
I know.
And you thought he was going to be 30 pounds.
We got a little more dog than we bargained for.
Okay, there. That's so much
the
better.
Blur is gone.
See, I always wonder with that blur, what are people hiding?
I know.
Their
I know.
private lives.
And creepy. Some lovely drapes there, I think. Is that?
Yeah, it's funny. I was like, the blur background is weird. What I want you to see is white drapes that look exactly like a blurred background. Anyway, okay, that makes me feel so much better. Like I'm not floating in space. I do have a dog. She's behind this curtain. She is the man behind the curtain.
Well, we very much like an introduction at some point. Doesn't have to be right now, but obviously we love dogs. Is this the dog that's in the video, in the Selfish video?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, she goes everywhere with me. And we weren't intending for her to be in the video, but we just couldn't. It was going to be such a long day, and we were both in the video, so we brought her.
Doggy field trip?
Yeah, doggy field trip.
Well, that sounds like fun. How have you been feeling since the record dropped?
Feel good. It was like a long process to get it out, like really long. I got the grant to make it. Well, I applied in 2019 and then I didn't get it, but I got it within such a small fraction of a point that they sort of automatically put you in the system again. I think it's automatic, or my grant writer did it. And then I got the grant in October of 2020. And after the summer of 2020, I think we were all just like, what is, like, there's a lot to reflect on, and what a crazy few months. So from the time that I applied for the album grant until when I actually got it, I was like a different person.
Yeah.
I'd moved like 4 times, and anyway, and then so I just put it out, but it took me a really, really, really long time. I'm like a really fast writer, and so it's kind of weird that it like just it was a slog. I'm not gonna lie to you. And my husband, he's not behind me. I don't know why I'm pointing.
Who else is back there?
My husband, this curtain. He produced it, and he did an amazing job.
Yeah.
But we'll never work together again.
Oh, really?
no.
This record was a slog.
Is it like doing renovations together? That's the deal. It's a relationship wrecker.
No, I mean, really, mostly like I tend to write about like women and, my mom and my girlfriends. And this record is really about like kind of reckoning. I turned 30 during the pandemic, and that was the age that my mom was. I was born on her 30th birthday, and that kind of lore hung over my life. And my mom is a singer, and her like first kind of breakout hit was about me being born on her birthday. And anyway, that sort of lore shaped my life, and that is more what the record is about than anything. Just kind of aging and expectations and frustrations, and like having all of this time during the pandemic to reflect on what the fuck. Can I say fuck on here?
Absolutely.
Please do.
You have 100 amount limit on this podcast. Yeah.
I love being amongst Canadians. We swear so much more than Americans.
Yeah.
And we say swear instead of cuss.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So annoying.
Yeah.
Say
Swear words are the real danger down there.
It's polite swearing. Right. Because there's a difference coming from.
Yeah. I'm like, you're writing so much about your life in this moment. This, you're hitting what maybe we could call it a deadline of sorts of expectations, you said. Was there anything that your mom or your parents learned about your journey from this album, or are you guys all pretty close and connected?
Open.
That's interesting. I think it's really, honestly, kind of sad and hard for my parents to look at what the music industry is for young people coming up. My dad is also a songwriter, and he's always like, it just takes one song can turn it all around. And it is true, but it also helps if it's the 80s.
Yeah.
So I guess part of that, like, I think it's really stark and kind of shocking for them to like really understand. Like, my whole life they encouraged, my brother is an artist and he's an amazing writer and singer, and they've always been like, just like music will like set you free. And honestly, I think for people who came up like I did, like it's a bit of you're tethered to it. If you really want to do it, it's like, it's not like a life of luxury. I mean, sure, I have all the curtains I could ever desire, but
yeah.
I'm completely flush with curtains. But a lot of uncertainty and sacrifice too.
Was there ever an opportunity for a different path? Did you ever is it just always been music and it was going to be music?
Yeah, no resistance.
Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of other skills. I have 2 musician parents. Yeah. They were both like, sing and dance and express yourself. So you can't read. So you were taken out of math before the legal limit where you could drop math. Oh, well, you don't need it. I do need it. Luckily, Liam is very smart. I learned, he's like a governess for me. He's just really keeps me on track. No, I guess. I'm really interested in visual arts, and I've, worked for like some interior designers and stuff like that, and florists, and like I do kind of stuff like that. But no, I'm not. You're not going to hire me to do much else.
So
sadly.
From the beginning, was there like, I'm assuming you have many memories of music and your parents' involvement in it from a very young age. So are you saying that from a very young age that like this is set, this is what I'm going to do?
Kind of. I mean, my mom was in this play called Blood Brothers when I was 6, and I went to every single
Oh wow.
matinee, and I listened to it on the phone. Like through, they have those speakers in the dressing room.
Yeah.
So theater, she would put the phone up to the speaker, and I would like fall asleep listening to it. Like just even like the smell of a backstage like gives me chills. Like I just I got really set on it at a really young age.
Well, and it doesn't sound like they're the type of parents at all who are like, no, this is the last thing you should or will ever want to do.
No, and it would have been great if maybe this is like a case for non-monogamy, because like maybe if there had been another adult who was like, you might want to learn how to use a computer, or I don't know, like anything.
Yeah.
That maybe that would have been good, but no, they were both very supportive for both me and my brother.
And I think you read you've got some other skills, right? You do like some quilting. I think I was reading quilting and painting.
Like very crafty people.
Oh my God, yeah. Wow, you did a deep dive. Yeah, actually, on my list today is I want to get a new sewing machine. But,
make some more curtains.
We relocated to LA kind of haphazardly and didn't bring any of our stuff. So I haven't sewed in a couple of years. But yeah, I got into quilting. Oh, I really got into quilting a couple of years ago.
Where did you relocate from? I like, because you've lived in many, many places, right?
Yeah, well, we were in Nashville for 5 years, and then I literally played a show in Toronto the day of lockdown, Friday the 13th, March 13th, 2020.
Yeah.
And then we kind of like just stayed, and then we stayed there for I don't even know how long, and then we moved to Hamilton for a few months. We're like, this is us now, and then we got a call. God, I don't know if I should say this on a podcast, but it probably doesn't matter. We got a call about Liam's green card, and they were like, you need to get back to America, because he got his green card like right before the pandemic.
Right.
And they were like, you've been in Canada too long, get back here. And we were like, oh God, we're so sorry. So we came back, and we thought when Biden was elected, everything was, we were like, it'll be fine, we can do whatever we want now. No, we had to come back. Then we got a place here for 6 months. That was an absolute nightmare. We got kicked out. We were like subletting from someone who wasn't allowed to have a dog. And then she got evicted. Kind of like a lot of her mail was coming, and everything was like final notice.
Yeah.
Like, there was like sort of a creeping feeling. Anyway, so then we had to quickly sign a lease. So then we signed a lease in LA, and we're like, maybe we'll stay or break the lease, or I don't know. And I think we were tired of moving, so we're still here. We're still here in cloudy LA.
Right, and were you born there? Are you?
My parents lived here when I was born, but I was born in Toronto.
Okay, so what about you? Like, do you have like citizenship in America?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that was handy.
Dude, yes. After watching Liam get his green card, it was crazy. And my birth name is Emily, and so anyway, renewing my passport as an American with an expired passport, I had like a picture of like a newborn with a different name, and I was like, it's me. And they were like, fine. And it was $50. It was so easy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Shocking.
I got caught once. My my mom, when she filled out the birth certificate, so my middle name is Michael, and she spelt it on the birth certificate EAL, but the rest of my life going forward from her signing that original document in the hospital, it was AEL.
Oh my god.
So I'd always been used to spelling the name that way. So when I did all the passport filling out, AEL, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then we were crossing the border into Montana, and a border guard had caught it and said that there's a spelling mistake on your name.
They turn you around?
And I'm like, God, I'm kidding. Thankfully, it was a very nice border security guard, and they were cool with it, because it was it's two simple little letters flipped around. But it was, I was frightened.
Now he knows how to spell his name.
Is there a right way?
I don't know.
What's that?
Is there a right way to spell Michael?
Apparently not.
I don't think there's a right or wrong way to spell anything.
Apparently not.
That's a beautiful answer.
But it is, like, I mean, as like you've just given birth and you've got to fill out this form already. I mean, like, and because that's the story I got later. Is that, I was just giving birth. Just
Wasn't feeling myself all
Wasn't
the way.
feeling
Yeah.
And maybe it was cursive too. It's hard to read
is
people's
true.
Exactly.
That
Yes,
is a good
very
point.
True. Yeah.
Okay, so I have to go back to this living arrangement you have. So at one point you moved back in with your folks, right? You and Liam during the pandemic.
Can I just get for the record, you're not like with immigration. You're just a simple podcast. I see you've interviewed so many people that I know. I just implicitly trust you, but you're not connected with.
Damn it! It's all been a ruse to get to this point, and we blew it.
You're not, and I fear our ability to turn away any further American-based musicians, because we've only had a couple of we've had Jada Kelly was probably one of the only artists we've interviewed. Ruben Bullock was also in California.
I think JJ was going to Nashville, but wasn't at Nashville yet.
I just met JJ with the Darcys.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Oh, and the Darcys are down there.
Yeah.
The Darcys are down here.
You guys have a pretty cool little
Canadian contingency.
Expat content creators over there, eh?
Yes. Your mic is breaking up. I'm missing
Mine?
a lot of what you're saying. No.
Bearded
your
guy?
mic,
Peter?
yes.
Oh, I guess both. Hi, me. This is breaking up. Check.
yes.
Okay.
We'll do a
Producer
little fix.
Ryan is on it.
We good. We should be good. Let us know if it happens again.
Thumbs up. Okay. Test 1, 2. Check.
Oh, it's stunning.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah. No, you have a cool crew of Canadians down there.
And now you're gone.
Oh God! Now I'm gone. That could be my fault.
I mean, I can hear you, but you're way in the distance.
It's this whole immigration thing. Our cover's blown. Everything's falling apart.
Okay, they're officially listening. Can you hear me better?
Yeah,
No?
it was like the van parked outside, just like all the antennas sped away as soon as they realized
Exactly.
completely onto you. Now the audio's messed up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's soft.
It's not the
Oh.
mic audio, Ryan.
It's soft.
I'm gonna unplug, replug.
Reboot.
All right. Well.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, we're back.
See,
Yeah.
reboot. That's all you got to do.
All right, we're back. We're back.
Did you
Beautiful.
plug it in?
I must have plugged it in properly.
All right.
Thank you for letting us know. We appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I just want it. I just want to hear you. You know.
We
I just
also
want to respond.
We do appreciate good quality on the show. We've had a number of less than ideal audio recordings
Bad
through Zoom,
Wi-Fis.
but yours is very good today as well. So we're all feeling very happy.
That's great to hear. Where were we?
Canadians. Contingency.
In
seems,
LA.
It seems like it would be a hoot.
There's, I think, like the most amount of Canadians here after, like Canadian writers in LA after Toronto, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Would you fit Nashville in like the top 5 or 10 at this point?
There's a lot. I was just talking to a friend who lives down there who's a killer writer, and she was like, there's probably like 40 like really active Canadian writers down there.
Wow.
But since I lived there was less than 1 million people when I moved there. There's almost 2 million people there.
In a handful of years?
Yeah, in a handful of years. And I had a friend who drove a pedal tavern.
Yeah.
Do you know what those are?
Yeah.
Like puke mobiles. He said that the Canadians who get on these pedal taverns are the worst, are the rudest, craziest, drunkest, most profane customers every time. And this is people from all over the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Canadians who are really fucking it up on Broadway.
Interesting.
Like all of those other descriptions fit except for rudest. I would never have thought rudest.
Well,
but
you
drunkest for
stick
sure.
a bunch of drunk Canadians
Maybe
on a
they
pedal
work
bike.
together.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But LA, do you ever like? Do you feel like? Do you spend a lot of time with Canadians down in LA?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I see Jada all the time.
Yeah.
Jada is an amazing like advocate for Canadian writers abroad, and by abroad I do mean in LA. She's always just, she has like a night at Hotel Cafe. She has a night at the LA County Fair, or like a stage at the LA County Fair where she features Canadian writers, and she's just like one of those people who is always bringing people together and like trying to create events and stuff like that. So she's the catalyst for that. And but there's like a real network here, when like I always get messages from people on Instagram being like, hey, we don't know each other, but because we're Canadian, they're like, I'm coming to LA. I feel like through friends you're there. And yeah, it's a network. It's nice. It's really nice.
It's also cool that you can take some of those people and then play a show together in Toronto.
For sure.
And bring a little taste of Canada and LA back home. So that show, that's a Jada Kelly like session at the Cameron, right?
Yeah, on July 11th.
And what's that show going to be like? Are you guys going to be doing a lot of discussing, or is it just primarily music?
I don't really know. I think Tara's playing it. Tara's an awesome, obsessed with her, awesome musician. Have you guys interviewed Tara?
We have not.
Tara
Lightfoot?
Not yet. We've talked to her about it.
She was here
We'll talk to her soon,
she was here in Red Deer last summer.
Yeah, opening for, who was that? Elliot Brood? No. Anyways, yes, Tara's fantastic. Amazing musician. Seems like a lot of fun. We hope to have her on the show.
She's the coolest. And I think we'll do a little chatting.
Yeah.
Songwriters night style, and then, play some songs and maybe sing, back each other up if it's that kind of night. I'm not sure if we're all playing together in a round or if it's separate. I should find out. Has she announced the show?
It's on your website.
Unbelievable.
You announced the show.
You have two,
and nobody said anything yet, so I guess it should be good.
That's great. That's good for me.
Yeah, July 11th. July 11th, you'll be back in Canada, just in case you needed a reminder. And are you going north just for the show?
No, I'm playing another show in Toronto at the Drake for school night.
Okay, yep. Yeah.
I'm doing that at the Drake on the 26th. And have you been to a school night?
Not yet, but feels like most of the bands we've interviewed in the last 2 years are playing them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, cool. I know they're really doing a good job. I don't know if I should play solo or with the band. I was going to ask you.
Well, that's something I want to talk to you about because I've spent a lot of time with Selfish. I really, really like it, and I don't like. How do you bring that on stage?
Thank you.
How many musicians are you bringing up there usually? Like your Genghis Cohen album release show. How many of you were up there?
Canadian Adeline was playing. Remy on drums, Liam on bass, and Ryan Richter on guitar.
Okay.
But honestly, I'm a quiet singer, and I also had my friend who's an amazing comedian, Laura Lebo, MC the night, and that was so fun, and I really enjoy the storytelling aspect between songs. So I don't know, this is sort of like my inner and perhaps my outer borscht belt comedian energy that I kind of like playing solo so that I can do a little crowd work, just sort of get into the themes of the album and really include people in them, because I feel sometimes bored at live shows, especially if I know the album really well. It's okay, what's different about why did I have to come? If it's just the exact same, why do you need me here? Include me, or let me be seated for free at home. So I don't know. At the Drake, it might make sense to play with a band, but I do love playing solo. I don't think that was a question you asked me though.
No, but it makes sense. You talk about that dialogue, that engagement in between songs. We've seen some artists in the last year. Ellen Froyce was one of them, out of Saskatchewan, who her banter in between songs was amongst the best I've ever seen.
Well, and that,
really?
I think as a fan as well, I like that, right? Because you're right. I know the songs. I've heard the songs. It's great to hear a little backstory or a little. I'd err on the side of the engagement.
We are also in a position where we, based on this podcast, obviously we're invested in the person behind the music. So yeah, it is nice to get a little character outside of the songs. I know a lot of musicians aren't into that. They don't have that confidence or whatever. The battle they're dealing with on stage is so much that they can't deal with making us laugh in between songs. But if you can do it, then yeah, go for it. That sounds amazing.
I love the battle they're dealing with.
I mean, hey, it sounds like it can be a struggle sometimes.
It's very true.
Yeah. No, it can.
How do you deal with stage fright as someone that was born into the industry?
I have recently started taking beta blockers, and it really helps. And I can't recommend it enough.
And you came to this realization on your own, or?
You know, I was playing a show and it was really low stakes.
Okay.
Like a little show in LA at Gold Diggers. Like so many nice people. Just shouldn't have been a big deal. And my knees were literally knocking together. Like I just get the physical symptoms of anxiety really, really keep me from being myself. And like my voice physically shakes, and I'm like, I'm not nervous. It's not, I don't care, but like, what am I nervous about?
Right.
So I think that's a big part of it. I know historically the pressure of playing a hometown show where you also feel like you're hosting people and people are trying to show up for you, like that kind of sends me into a thing. I would kind of prefer to play a show somewhere where, you know, when I'm in a city and I don't know anybody, that's a lot easier. But I do get kind of bent out of shape playing places where I live, which I do tend to play. The majority of the shows I've played are in Toronto, LA, and Nashville. So
yeah,
I do. Yeah, that aspect of it really spins me out.
Well, when does the anxiety manifest? Is it like moments before? Or are you dealing with that the day before a show? Like, and
weeks.
Like,
honestly, weeks before. And definitely the day of is like a complete write-off. It's so much better now that I know I have these beta blockers. It's just like I feel like I can really count on it. It really, really, really helps. And then another artist from Toronto, who I won't name, but they like suggested it to me. They're very vocal about their anxiety. So I approached them. I was like, "Are you on drugs? What are you taking? Taking for anxiety?" Yeah. Here's what you do. Call your doctor. I actually think we have the same family doctor, and they just they give them to you very easily.
Oh, that seems like a good solution.
I can't believe I lived without it. I mean, now I'm considering, like, do I need them all the time? Do I need some form of this, like, anxiety?
Yeah.
What you talk about with having people that you know in the crowd, what's it like performing in front of mom and dad? How often are they at shows? Does that throw a different monkey wrench into the, or you've just been doing it so long?
It's a real toss-up. My dad, like, they're always disappointed and overly, like, they're like, "You were amazing, but I couldn't hear the vocal." They can never hear the vocal. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They cannot hear the vocal. And so it does stress me out. I've definitely told them, like, you don't come. Like, they want to support. My mom also will stand at the front of the stage with an iPad, or put an iPad and a ring light on a stand in front of the stage. She's like, you're not filming enough content. I'm like, lady, I know, but I can't do it all. Like, you know, if I could hire a photographer to come with me to every show and like do this, sure, but it's on the bottom of my list. And so I don't know. One time my dad came to a show, this is like so long ago, but I was performing at the Painted Lady in Toronto. He wore a sheriff's badge and he was just harassing people, saying, "I'm the sheriff," or kind of heckling me, being like, "I'm the sheriff, not enough vocal. I'm the sheriff, you're arrested." Like, weird. I mean, my parents are eccentric people.
I love that. That's
He's prepping you for hard crowds.
Yeah.
As a dad myself, that's part of the gig, is embarrassing your daughter as much as possible, and I've done that a time or two as well. So
that's pretty funny.
That's just good dadding right there.
So will they be at the show in Toronto or not? Will you put up?
Might come to the Cameron House one.
Okay.
You know, I'll ask them not to, but what does that really mean?
Yeah, you can't do much.
Well, you don't know when they're gonna pop up.
And then you're saying that your mom, they've both been in the industry for a very long time. Obviously, she has recommendations or ideas of how you can be operating Zoe Sky Jordan differently, like having a photographer on hand, right? Sure. Your mom seems very active and on top of things as far as her career and the things that she wants to promote and support are, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, like you aren't aren't in that vein? You didn't adapt that from her at all, or what's the hesitation to kind of jump on the marketing side of things?
Okay, first of all, noted. What is my hesitation? I mean, I thought my show's on my website. Is that not marketing?
It is. One of them, anyways.
Breaking shows on her website.
Yeah.
Yeah, before I even know, breaking them to myself. I think it's complicated. I think like there is definitely a part of me that has always done the opposite of what she does. But my mom is kind of a genius. Like, I think people have always, and this is part of what Selfish is about, people have always my mom has such a big personality. She's tall. She's glamorous. She's been mistaken by a drag queen for a drag queen. Like, she's larger than life.
Mm-hmm.
And so people have always really had opinions about her and reflected them back to me, which was so confusing for me as a kid.
Yeah, I bet.
And that's kind of like in one of the first lines of Selfish, I always had like, moms of kids my age being like, what's your mom doing? Like, oh, but she's in a place. Like, who's picking you up? Does that make you sad? Are you sad that your mom doesn't pick you up? I was like, well, I wasn't.
What the hell?
I don't know. Is that bad?
That's crazy.
Anyway,
they're jealous.
So what's that?
They were definitely jealous.
I mean, there's also a weird thing about, so she was like famous in our city, especially in Toronto and in Canada especially, but we're also living in the neighborhood that she grew up in, and I was going to a school that she went to, so like there was some like really small town vibes where like people have known you since you were 7 or whatever, like had known her since she was a kid. And yeah, I think there was some jealousy, and especially the fact that she was writing about being a mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of like pressure on women to like be amazing in every arena, and they saw her excelling professionally but also talking about being a mom. And I wonder if some of those stay-at-home moms that had some attitude, which was directed at me, were like, you can't be both. I do the mom thing. Like, I think it was kind of threatening in an environment where like there was too much pressure put on women to excel in every aspect and do it at a calorie deficit and make it look effortless. And anyway, I've gone off topic. I have always kind of done the opposite of what my mom has done because she's such a big personality. I sing in a different way, whatever, but also she's a legitimate savant. Like she studied classical cello at U of T. She like didn't have the music theory to like do it, and like taught it to herself real quick, got in. Like she can learn anything. So I think social media and adapting to social media for her, she's like, I love it. Like she's been running Facebook ads. She helps my dad with a lot of his stuff. And like I hired somebody who's like an amazing professional to do that for this album. And my mom's like, oh no, I just do it. I was like, you're in the back end of Meta. Do you know how confusing and weird that is? Like, no, I like it. It makes perfect sense to me. Like she just has that kind of brain. So she really, I can't hold myself to her standard. She's a genius. What can I say? She's a gorgeous genius. And, I don't measure myself on her yardstick.
Well, that's a very good thing, because then you'd be facing an incredible amount of inauthenticity, I believe. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's really I've over the last couple of weeks since we knew we were going to get the chance to talk to you, kind of digging deeper into your life and your parents' lives, and it's just a quite a fascinating dynamic of Canadian musicians growing up under one household. Have there ever been family jams?
Yes, but I wasn't really a part of them.
What were you doing?
Like chirping them.
Well, goes around. Maybe that's why your dad's wearing sheriff badges. Yeah. Which one happened first?
Can't hear the vocals.
I do take after my dad in that kind of like shit disturber kind of like chirping thing. But and also like I like absolutely don't have any music theory. My mom, my dad, my brother, I remember like they kind of did all jam, and like my brother still, like sings on my parents' records and helps them sort of do stuff, and I'm just completely useless there. Like I couldn't help, I can't use a computer. So no, I'm not really part of them, but yes, they do jam without me.
Okay, what is there ever a chance that you can get in there and we can get like an EP or a full length?
Oh, we did actually do a Christmas concert. We are Jewish.
Yeah.
My dad is also like staunchly atheist, but we're Jewishy and had a very Jewish upbringing. And we did a Christmas show the other year, which was pretty fun. Maybe we'd do it again.
Well, Christmas music is a blast.
I mean, yeah, it was gorgeous. What did I sing? Oh, Holy Night.
Classics.
Bangers. Oh, yeah, complete bangers. Yeah.
Okay, you just mentioned about being useless, which I think is a little extra. But in your album release post, you did thank a number of collaborators and said, I quote, "They never made me feel like an idiot for truly not knowing anything about something I've been doing kind of a long time." End quote.
Yeah.
It was a very moving post for an album release. But I'm curious, do you have any examples you're willing to share of things that you, I don't know, blanked on in the writing or recording or producing process?
Well, okay. So this is sort of my journey, trying to be less self-deprecating, and also in that process, trying to not be afraid to show how confused I am, because I think that also has created a lot of anxiety, like especially as a woman. I would feel more comfortable, I think, walking into a guitar store if it was like stupid bitch guitar store for stupid bitches. Like I just feel so self-conscious when I go into a place of gear. Yep. And even though I actually know some stuff, and I understand how gain structure works, or like I've been around it for a long time, but I have felt really, really disempowered because I have taken myself out of the game so many times, feeling like I didn't want to show people, I didn't want to ask questions, because I just felt like people, especially when I was like 19, 20, 21, I just felt like people thought I was stupid. And I grew up with like a host of learning disabilities and stuff. So it was just sort of part of my whole like identity to feel confused, I guess, and like just afraid to look stupid, because in school I was like, I always felt stupid. So but the other thing, what that post was really alluding to, is like every few years it's so different to release an album. Like I didn't even really do PR this time because of the way that like the channels are, and it just feels like not the best use of my money and
huge gamble.
Effort.
It's a big gamble.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like,
where do I market this?
Yeah,
who needs to?
I think podcasts are like one of the only things people really engage with. Like, I don't know, you guys are obviously hardcore music people, but do you like care what like Rolling Stone says?
Not nearly as much. And we both come from radio. I'm no longer in radio. Pete is, but not in the form of radio that is promoting new music.
Yeah.
So as less and less radio stations are promoting new music, then yeah, where are you going to? Well, you're going to podcasts if you want to learn about the actual person. Or you're
and it's
opening
not the,
Spotify new playlists weekly or whatever.
Right. And it's it's not the mainstream places like a Rolling Stone or even a Pitchfork per se anymore. It's like I know I find smaller blogs of, people that I can relate to, have same musical interests, and I get stuff from there. But very rarely from the Rolling Stones of the world, for sure.
No, I definitely don't pay too much attention to them, especially after that U2 debacle.
What U2 debacle?
When they said it was the best record of the year or something, and it was just a Yan what's his name, Jan Wenner or whatever. It's just he's just friends with. Anyways,
When
Rolling Stone. Not worried about them. No. Are you? Did you get into the Rolling Stone?
No.
Did you try?
No.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need it.
And I'm curious, as a new artist, where does radio play into it for you? Like, is it something that you would go after? Is it something that you'd hope for? Is it just another piece of the pie?
Well, I know that I did do an alternative radio campaign for this album, and like it's really been cool, and I've connected with people like all over North America, and like those are, you know, the kids who are running those stations or young people who are running those stations, like they're going to go off and care about music and create things. Yep. And so I think that's really cool. And I love doing that. Was that your question?
That's pretty close. Yeah, I guess just how important radio is in the whole scheme. Because again, you've got your online marketing. You're going to be doing this. You're going to be doing that. Where does radio fit into?
I mean, I don't think I could get played on the radio, like radio, but like specialty alternative stations, like I listen to that. That matters to me. Hi, puppy. That matters to me. So yeah, I think that's really cool. But I also think there's something to, especially in LA, I'm like in my car all the time, and I love listening to KCRW.
Yep.
Like there's just something about this is like happening. Everybody can hear it.
Mm-hmm.
We are losing.
I think.
Yeah, we're losing that
one button.
Yeah.
What's that?
We're losing that brand recognition for radio stations in this country. Like KCRW, KXP is a bit different, but you know what I mean. Everyone knows KXP.
Yeah.
I don't know what New York's version is, but like,
it's
what is that?
M8. No, the M83. But it looks like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But like in Canada, the Edge used to be huge in Toronto, but I've never seen the Edge make the news for their controversial takes during the morning show, or because they're playing some crazy band that's in town tonight.
Been a long time since those days, for sure.
Yeah, long time.
CKUA is cool.
CKUA, for
absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
CKUA. I mean, CBC Radio tends to play some really cool Canadian artists. It seems.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really depends. It's what I'm learning is that the number I don't have the stats, but it does feel like the number of people who invest their time and energy and sometimes money in music kind of feels like it's growing less popular. Does that make sense to you?
So and I've seen some of the statistics on, we do all kinds of different surveys of what people want to hear on the radio and all that kind of stuff. And new music discovery continues, I think, every year to drop a little bit for radio listeners.
Yeah.
Which only makes sense because
radio stations aren't playing new music.
Fewer and fewer radio. Like, I mean, that used to be how you discovered new music, but it's just not anymore. Yeah. So that's not to say that there aren't people out there that still want to, but radio listeners tend to say that's not. And that's why you see so many. And that's like our radio station was one that played new music and flipped to just all classics because that's where the audience is and the advertising dollars.
It's just weird because you can listen to classics. If you already know what you want to listen to, why wouldn't you just stream it? You would think you need a DJ on the radio to show you the new stuff, but it's flipped. So obviously there's something I'm not getting about the format, but like I don't understand why you need predictability on the radio.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because it's all the flip side of that. It's all about familiarity.
Right.
And that's what radio's after. Anyways,
this could
be a very long conversation.
Major restrictions when you settle on familiarity.
Yeah.
But that's how it is. But that's why we're here talking to Zoe Sky Jordan, whose new album dropped on April 26th and is fucking sick.
Okay, and we talked about you're killing the content. So there's another video release for tomorrow, which is like a series of
I didn't even
songs
see that.
From the Great Hall.
Oh, yes. Right.
Which looks like an amazing venue. Talk a little bit about the Great Hall.
Oh, the Great Hall it's a Toronto, it's a Queen West classic. It's a beautiful venue. And we filmed it there kind of like still sort of pandemic times. So just, did it without an audience. And I just kind of wanted it to feel filmic and lonely and grand. And had an awesome band in Toronto. And this video that's coming out, so we did two that were like sort of more, one is called Crazy 2, one's called Just Fine, and that's sort of more like raucous full band. And then this next one that's coming out is a ballad. It's on the album. It's called Why. It's about professional disappointment, relationships that don't pan out. It's kind of glam.
Ooh.
I do an outfit change.
Oh.
I sit, if that tells you anything.
Wow.
Well, I'm looking forward to that. You said that's tomorrow?
Tomorrow it debuts, or is it tonight? Today.
Today, like as in the day we're recording the podcast, or are we pretending like this is next week when the episode releases?
It's coming out June 6th.
Okay, so this will be out, and we will share it for sure, because I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Wait.
Is it June 6th or June 7th? I thought maybe on the
7th.
I think it said the 7th. Either way, by the time this is out, it'll be available for anybody to go and watch.
And you know what? I'm pretty sure that I posted yesterday that it was coming out today. And in there lies my problem. Like, I'm so disorganized. I don't know, I think I don't know how much time is passing.
I love
anyway,
that, though.
whatever, it's getting out there.
I
I spend so much time feeling bummed about like a spelling. I posted another video and there's like a spelling mistake in the title of the song. And I was like, you know what? I'm not reposting it. I value my time. I can't go back and spend like another hour. I would actually have to re-record it because I didn't save it without the text. I was like, I just can't. The people are gonna know I can't spell. Know it. Free me. Like I can't.
Well, and you grew up. You were dyslexic, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You have an out. You're good.
Thank you. It's honestly, it's amazing. I made it this far.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that post because I love the song that went with it as well, and
you
especially
caught the spelling mistake.
Honestly, I didn't because I'm the same. And people who chastise other people for spelling mistakes, fuck you, because it's like, right? And especially when you're typing shit and it doesn't.
Mistake is in the word. It's not a spelling misunderstanding. It's not a spelling controversy. Like I know how it's spelled. And I spelt it intermittently wrong in that post.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
This doesn't define me.
I think I copy and pasted it and I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I wasn't wearing my glasses or my contacts.
Yeah, this does not define me.
But we can't chastise people for a spelling mistake.
Yeah.
And we should support people who are just spelling incorrectly also.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm down. So there's a line in that song that you posted that says, "It feels un-American when I am not trying to be a competitor."
Mm-hmm.
Which there's so many of your lines as I'm listening going, like that you could pull out and things that resonate. But that one really resonated with me for sure because there's just always this need for, especially in the US, to be number one, to be the best country in the whole damn world. Why can't you just be good? Why isn't it good enough to just be good?
It's people stuck in a time that was almost 100 years ago.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like this, I'm actually watching an American flag blow in the breeze across the street at this very moment.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous. But yeah, like I feel there's work to be done within myself around that kind of like be the best you can be because of my learning disability from a young age, I was always told like, you're good at other stuff. You're good at this. You're creative. Your language is colorful. You love to sing and dance. That's great. Can you spell? No. But like you're good at other stuff. So I think it kind of always took I didn't even try to win, because I was always sort of told like you're not going to be able to do it in the traditional way. And I have ADD. Like my dog's making it. And so you're not gonna be able to do it in the traditional way, but I do wonder if I kind of like didn't even try because I thought I couldn't do it, or I thought the traditional means weren't gonna work for me. But at the same time, it's like who are we competing for, and like to win who sets the end goal. I'm watching RuPaul's Drag Race at a clip that is honestly nauseating. Like I'm dreaming of the queens every single night. But what I love among many things about that series is like the mindset of the competitors and like you can kind of see how people, their inner saboteur. Do you watch Drag Race?
No.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I've heard
I
many great things.
I only started in November.
Okay.
And it's crazy.
You've been catching up on like 10 years.
I was going to say, that's a lot of binging, right? Yeah. There's like, it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I'm like 15 years behind. But I'm almost caught up. It's really disgusting how much TV I've been watching. But the mindset stuff on that show really, really resonates with me. And it was kind of in my mind as I was writing that song Competitor, because you see people take themselves out because they feel like they just shouldn't try. Somebody's better at them than this other thing. And anyway, it's just really an interesting psychology, what we do ourselves. And for me, it's gonna like take a lot of investigation to figure out why I'm doing the things I'm doing. Is it really out of love, or is it really out of fear that I can't, or that's going to be too complicated? I get so overwhelmed with my email and using like computer and whatever. So I think it takes me out of the game sometimes, and I wish music wasn't so computer focused.
Yeah,
but it is.
It can be tough. It can be tough. That's so you purposely dumped all that water on your computer?
What's that?
You purposely dumped all that water on the computer?
Honestly,
just for a break?
I was like, "You're handling this really well. You're not upset." I was like, "I'm not upset." That thing, and I just got it.
Yeah.
But I hate it, and I can't even remember what's on there. Like, I'm sort of like, what have I lost? I don't know. I think everything's in Google Drive.
Right. Yeah.
That attitude right there is winning. That is a winning attitude.
So?
Oh, definitely.
Is there any?
I just can't remember. Like I don't really have a good overview of like, where everything is. It might be delusional, but I'm not upset.
Is there any chance you'll be playing other shows north of the border throughout 2023?
Yeah, well, I did have a show cancel in Calgary.
Oh.
That I'm going to reschedule because I couldn't get there. It was the hubris. I was like, I'll fly in, I'll fly out in the middle of winter. Absolutely not. There was, of course, a series of storms that prevented me from getting there.
What was that Calgary show for? Do you remember?
It was, yes, it's my friend's series called Bread Maker.
Huh.
Madison Krebs. And I think the venue kind of changes, but it was going to be a cool night. Del Barber played, Lucette played, there was another artist, I think Madison ended up filling in. Anyway, I'd like to go back and do that. I might play some shows in BC. I'm still kind of honestly figuring it out.
Cool. So chances are pretty high.
Chances are high.
Okay, yeah. That's exciting.
Just keep an eye on our website.
Yes, I will.
You keep an eye on your website. You'll find out when you're coming.
Yeah, I need to actually look. Maybe I am. I have no idea.
Is there anything else that you're looking forward to or that we should keep our eyes out on over the next few months?
Well, it took so long to put this record out that I've also written like another record.
Yeah, it's done or what?
It's written. Actually, I think I'm going to put out a song I just wrote like a week ago in Nashville about Geri Halliwell, who is somebody I love. And again, like in kind of excavating why I am the way I am. When Geri left the Spice Girls, it broke me. Like I didn't even realize it until I watched her documentary on the plane, and I had all these like flashbacks. But it happened at a time where I was like a little kid just kind of realizing that childhood was ending. And the Spice Girls for my whole like sentient childhood were like the picture of like friendship and like bonds that can't be broken. And then they were broken.
Yeah.
And they were kind of broken because she was too much. And as a little kid who was so much and was told constantly that I was so extra, to see somebody who I saw myself in kind of be like pushed out of the group was really traumatic. And I was like, ooh, well, I guess I can't be like that. Otherwise everybody hates you. And it was traumatic. So I'm really excited about this song, Geri, that I don't know when it's going to come out. I might put it out like next week. I don't know. I just finished vocals last night.
And it's called Geri?
Yeah.
That's awesome. The Spice Girls did their shows already?
No, so I think they just announced reunion shows.
Yes.
So how many of those would you plan on going to?
I mean, like every single one. If I knew, I haven't looked at where they are. Do you know?
I don't know
There's
that. I don't
gotta
know that
be
the
an LA
dates.
show, though,
I would
right?
assume. I don't know that the dates have been announced yet. I think it's just been announced that that it's coming. I think actually Mel B had posted last week that the announcement was coming soon. I don't know if it's happened yet or not, but
Oh my God, this is an amazing day.
I love that.
That would be pretty crazy. It's funny because Geri, she's so involved in F1 that she's at most races, or at least every second race it seems. So she can always
Really?
see Geri hanging out.
Geri's
in the paddock.
at F1?
Yeah, because she's
Oh.
married to the guy that runs Red Bull.
I didn't know that. That's
Didn't know that
cool.
either.
Yeah, if you watch that, there's a reality show on Netflix called Drive to Survive,
Okay.
and it's about F1. And she's in it a little bit, but they do spend some time filming on their property in the UK, and it is fucking crazy.
This is huge.
So once
Yeah.
you're done with RuPaul, move on to RuPaul to
Formula
F1.
One.
It's like
Okay.
one and the same.
I think I have about 6 months left of heavy binging on Drag Race, provided there isn't an upcoming thing because of the writer's strike, and then
Yeah.
I will. F1 is next on my list,
There you go, just for Geri.
just for Jared.
See what Jerry's been up to for the last 10 years or so.
I love that passion around the
Yeah,
band.
that's amazing.
And you summed up the way how connected we get to music and musicians. It's beautiful.
Well, and also, I was born in 91, so Spice Girls were, I was familiar with them probably by the time I was 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And they were massive. Like, it was huge. And then, yeah, they broke up, never really heard about them again. But I'm sure that the amount of pioneering they did in that scene was probably deserves more recognition. I would assume so.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're still like the biggest selling
Really?
girl group of all time. I mean, those metrics are kind of weird considering how
Yeah.
sales have tapered off, but yeah, their influence cannot be overstated.
And Geri
think-
will hear this song.
Oh my God, do you think?
I mean, we got to make it happen somehow.
It'll happen.
Please, please. Okay, so the first line of the song is "I was 9," which I actually think I was 8, but again, math. I was 9 when Geri left the band. When you hear that, do you think I'm
The
talking
Grateful
about
Dead?
Jerry Garcia?
Okay, but
Wow.
this is the thing.
You
like-
look great for your age, if that's the case.
Yeah, no kidding. You could, I mean, this could be a huge marketing play. Because you know how many deadheads there are. You get deadheads listening to that song thinking it's about Garcia. I mean,
Yeah.
you could be bringing in a huge chunk. You could be on the festival circuit in 2 years.
And then eventually when it comes out that it's about Geri, like you actually spell it like Geri, they'll think it's about, you just say it's a spelling mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, I've laid the groundwork.
Laid the groundwork. There it is.
Yeah, I have the receipts. Wow. Well, I'm very excited to hear that song.
Thank you.
That sounds like very interesting. I wrote this song. It's about this. Let's go make it.
Yeah.
Let's go make it and put it out.
I think that's kind of what I have to do because it was, again, so long. Like this whole record and Selfish, like I think that was kind of a big, long, excavative thing for me. So it's cool that it took that long, but I'm just not that kind of person. I don't know if you're sensing this. I'm not like really detail oriented. Like I just want to make things that are about this moment. And the beautiful thing about how fast and accessible music is that you can just freaking put it out. So like, why
And there's not many people taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
Like I honestly, I can only, the rural Alberta advantage, that's kind of been their MO, right? Write it, record it, and get it out right away. But I don't know anybody else that's doing that. And
Well,
why wouldn't, like,
I mean, labels.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, they want their marketing machine behind it.
That's, I
Well,
imagine
that's the thing,
yeah.
but I'm unencumbered by a machine.
Yeah.
So why not? You
No,
know?
go for it. Why not? You're not, yeah, why not? Like, you can be an artist and still incorporate some aspects of being a SoundCloud artist.
SoundCloud, yeah.
Like, it's not just SoundCloud artists that get to release songs whenever the hell they please.
Yep.
It's true. I had a very wise friend the other year say, like, we should be treating Spotify like Instagram. Like, why not?
Yeah.
There really is no wait time. And the algorithm likes you to be releasing constantly. So like, why not? But I think, it's hard. You want to put your best stuff out there, but probably we could all stand to be a little less precious. Nobody else is being precious. The artists are left here, being like, I want somebody to like be looking at this in 60 years and finding like the hidden meaning in it, but like really, I think there's something equally valid to just putting out your thoughts like we do on social media. Sometimes being off the cuff, I think your like consciousness can get ahead of you and you don't even realize how profound your like gut reaction is.
Yeah, thinking about legacy like that sounds incredibly dangerous with such limited time. Like I was just there's a Taika Waititi interview the other day where he's talking about, he's become quite a famous film director, but at the end of the day, no one's going to even remember his name because none of us can name the guy who directed Casablanca.
Truth.
And it's considered one of the greatest movies ever. So, yeah, setting your sights on legacy like that could be a big problem.
Totally. But like, yeah. I was going to say, like, have as many. I know that we're all supposed to say that Casablanca is like, so
I've never
great.
seen it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I've seen it. I liked it, but it's been a while. But like, more people have maybe seen the Fast and the Furious franchises. Who directs that?
Yeah, that's a really good point. Not Vin Diesel. Most of those people think. Yeah.
That is a sad but very good point.
It is. Yeah, I don't know. It's going like thinking about legacy like that, or even going back, like the contrarian take. Like I had it at the beginning of the pandemic. You wrote an amazing record, and I just sat around watching old movies.
I mean,
that was my goal. You were like, you know what? We're gonna be locked down. I'm gonna write a killer record, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch 150 movies I've never seen this year. And one of them was Citizen Kane, which is from like 1937, something like, or some crazy.
Really?
Maybe it wasn't the 30s. Maybe it was the.
I thought it was maybe set in the 30s, but made
in the 50s.
Oh, maybe it was the 50s.
Yeah.
It definitely. Anyways, regardless, it's old as hell. And everyone says it's the greatest. I was like, I mean, it can't be that great because it's so old. It was fucking amazing. It was amazing. So, I don't know. Legacy's a mixed bag, I guess.
Well, then I think there's just, again, like, about monoculture and being a competitor. And, like, there's so many other metrics to decide what is great and what works. Like, on what level,
Mm-hmm.
Like, anyway, we're just so connected that to try and like compare all of us is just exhausting and fruitless.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. And I think that mindset explains why I'm liking this record so much, because it is really I find it very complex and
very deep. We said just before you jumped in, it's an album that you need to listen to multiple times, both musically and lyrically as well. All right, it's all kind of relationship stuff, but it's much deeper than just a surface relationship kind of stuff. It all I think requires a deep dive.
Thank you. That's so nice. I mean, that's really all I want to hear. Is that people are listening to the lyrics and care. That's like so cool. Thank you.
Well, thank you for hanging out today.
Yep.
We really appreciate it. We've been looking forward to this one for a few weeks now, so we're glad we could all make some time.
Likewise. Before we go, Can I know what's behind you?
Yes. What you can't
know what's behind
what
me.
you don't see
is just a big green wall.
Oh, seriously? That's
Yeah.
very professional.
Yeah,
Oh,
we have
wow.
a killer. You know what? When you're in Alberta,
There's it. Yeah.
when you come up into Alberta, you should come here and film on this green screen. Do a song.
I would love to.
Yeah. Quick stop in Red Deer on your way between cities or something.
Okay, I'm into it.
Cool. We'll figure it out.
Awesome.
All right. Well, good luck with these shows coming up, and hopefully we hear about an Alberta show or two soon as well.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys listening to the record and all your beautiful thoughts and just having me on. It's really nice.
Well, thank you.
Awesome.
We look forward to
Appreciate you.
seeing you in the future.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, Zoe. Have a great
ya.
day. Bye. The green screen is up. The secret is over.
That's it. That's the behind the curtain for Zoe, and there's what's behind the curtain for us.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
That was a fun talk.
She is an amazing person. I love everything about her.
Yeah, and I would strongly recommend you check out that record Selfish because, it's just a really, really cool listen.
Yeah,
really cool.
And deep. Like I say, it's not just surface relationship stuff. It's you can pull a lot.
Absolutely. All right, Peter Michaels.
Patrick Bateman.
We are here at Communal Creative Studios. If you so care to do so, head to YouTube and search Communal Creative Studios or CCS by Bose. Give us a subscribe on the YouTube channel.
Do some liking and following on the socials. Because, we try.
We do.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's been a slow couple of months. You know what I'm saying?
Couple of months.
But we got shows coming up, so we got people to talk to.
Picking up steam, and if everything goes according to plan, we're here next
Wednesday.